Hi, good morning, everyone. Great. My name is Mitali Vinod, and on behalf of Gainskills Business Media, presenting partner Moglix, platinum partner Microsoft, ICETIS, gold partner Venvis, strategic spend partner DICE, silver partner Contosoft Technologies, business development partner PowerWeave, and media partner Zex, CIO News, welcome everyone to the third Procure Connect Confixin Awards 2024 Mumbai chapter curated by Gainskills Business Media. This event serves as a platform for collaboration, knowledge sharing, and discussions on the evolving role of procurement leaders in today's dynamic and challenging business environment. Procurement professionals are no longer just cost controllers, they are strategic enablers of innovation, resilience, and sustainability, helping organizations drive value and achieve long-term success. Our agenda today brings together thought leaders and industry experts from diverse sectors, all with shared purpose to exchange insights, share achievements, and tackle the complex challenges procurement leaders face in this new era of volatility and opportunity. With this note, let me introduce our keynote speaker for the day. For the chairperson opening remark, Mr. Anik Basu, Vice President Moglix. Mr. Anik Basu is a distinguished leader at Moglix, serving as the Vice President and a business head for enterprise and PAAS. With a prestigious degree from XLRI Jamshedpur, Mr. Anik brings over 15 years of extensive experience in leading sales at Tata International, Blue Birch, and Indus Towers. Mr. Anik has dedicated over 6 years to Moglix, building the East region from scratch and successfully taking over the Mumbai region and PAAS. He exemplifies a visionary approach and strong strategic insight. Mr. Anik's deep expertise combined with his relentless drive for excellence makes him an invaluable asset to Moglix. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Anik Basu?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the third edition of Procure Connect. We look forward to a day full of discourses on the themes that our MC had just explained. So yes, procurement is going through a inherent change in the way it is going into the next decade. Recurring themes are there, which I think is already in the top of the mind of most of the leaders in this room. We will try to touch on some of them as we go into the discussions through the day. There are multiple sessions and panel discussions there. I hope it will be enriching for all of us as we go through this journey. And I'm sure when you go out after the event, I believe that all of us will be richer in terms of ideas that we can go back and implement in our workplaces. The way we touch lives of our customers, of our supply chain partners, and the consumers at the end, I think all of us will be to the better. So while I have the honor of kind of setting the ball rolling for the day, it's a huge privilege. Let me thank all of you and also the organizers here for this. I really look forward to this particular few hours that we have at our disposal. In order to connect the dots here as to why procurement and this event, what is kind of the genesis of it, we have come up with probably a very small summary of what might be useful for some of you and maybe I hope for most of you. In terms of using and leveraging the discussions throughout this and maybe taking it back also with you. It's coming up, right? So while they set it up, let me talk about the context. So PwC, as you know, is one of the leading consultants in the world. So what they have been doing is they have been trying to do some procurement surveys, right, with leaders across the globe for multiple years now. The 2024 survey, which we picked up for once we tried to dig in and make this session more contextual to all of us, we found that they have been very, it's a very analytical study on how procurement priorities are going to change or has changed over the past few years. So They have taken 2022 as a baseline, moved to 24, and then they're talking about what are the trends that we can see in 27, which are upcoming, and which I'm sure all of us are actually trying to dabble with them as we speak. Yeah. Sorry for the glitch, I think. So let me also maybe spend a minute on the survey list which they had actually tapped into to get this get the responses. So around 1,000 procurement teams were reached out by the setup at PwC across 5 continents and across 58 different countries. So that is the survey base, and it's almost 30% larger than what they published last couple of years. So it's a larger base that they reached out. So this is just one slide which I will talk about, and it's a very crisply laid out form which we kind of crystallized out of this study is, there are 7 basic parameters which we want to talk about. Anyway, so just stay there, in the graph. That's it. So when we say top priority, which is there in the procurement leader's mind today, has actually made a shift. So in 2022, it was cost for valid reasons. We were coming out of the pandemic and the supply chain uncertainty was there. We all went through that journey. So cost remained, and there was a lot of volatility, to be frank. The market was volatile and there were so many events per se on the geopolitical side also. So it was cost, right? It continues to be cost this year also. It's not too long, 22 and 24, it's just 2 years. Too short a span in the history of probably the earth, if we put it that way. However, today with the shift towards, the mindset is shifting towards more like digitization. So 27, and by the way, digitalization is not really a new term. It has manifested across, so it has a maturity, right? So it started with a certain amount of digitization in 22. We did then also, but now it is actually going more end-to-end and going towards more deep-rooted on in terms of capabilities with digitalization. So that is going to be the priority, top priority in the minds of procurement leaders for upcoming 2 to 3 years, that is 27. Now, when we say the next column, that is, so top drivers of digitization. Again, it was started with efficiency, which is linked to cost savings, and linked to maybe doing more of with the resources that are there. It continues to be efficiency again, while we are still behind the efficiency goals, as stated by some of the respondents. At the same time, they also have realized that analytics is going to be one of the drivers to bring in more efficiency. It can't be the bulldozing of trying to do more of with what you have. It can't be just that. So the priority for the next 2 to 3 years will be add layer of analytics on to your efforts to make it more efficient. Right. So this is one driver that is emerging. Third one is pretty interesting when we talk about what procurement managers or leaders feel about external support, what they were asking 2 years back versus today versus 3 years down the line. So in 22, it was like, help us implement the P2P platform, or help us implement it more quicker, faster, and more, and help us customize it. Today it is like, can we integrate certain decision support systems along with the P2P platform that we already have? So that external need is there. Help us implement more DSS. In 27, it would be like, can we collaborate to build an algorithm which maybe takes care of certain, it helps us do predictive modeling. So that is where the external support will emerge. So basically it's like a Maslow hierarchy. So we have covered the first 2 layers. The third layer is towards making it more focused on excellence, making it more intelligent. So that is on external support. So you will see more and more companies which will come up with these niche products which solve certain pieces of the supply chain, who will be collaborating with larger enterprises and larger units to attain a certain objective on the supply chain efficiency part as well. In terms of end-to-end solution, so mindset towards end-to-end solution, is it required in procurement or not? In 22, it was, yes, very much required. P2P, procure to pay, was already established. It was there. 24, again, it is still P2P. Maybe more respondents feel almost close to, if you see the number, close to almost 96% people feel that P2P is definitely needs to be done immediately. And mostly it is done also. Most of us have adopted that. The next milestone is linked to source to contracting. So CLM, or contract lifecycle management, that will become the key that we see as a trend in the next 2 to 3 years. So it won't be just P2P only, it will be how do we strategically source more products versus what we are doing today. How do we manage these contracts across their life cycle, and actually can these contracts be replicated, and can they be kind of help us become more efficient or get us more competitive advantages. So that is where it will lead to. The fifth one is a layer below what we discussed earlier on top drivers for digitization. This is talking about functional processes within the procurement functions that we have built. So it used to be always that let us define our processes correctly, let us map them, and then we go for the implementation with the platforms, with the digital solutions that we have. Going forward, and I think we are already seeing this in, I would say, small islands where it is still started to happen already. Generative AI, right? It's not a new word to us anymore. Can it help us build more from the supply chain, or can it help us towards pricing, towards source selection, towards supply partners, towards supply chain partner selections and all that? So can it help there? And I think compliance-wise, e-invoicing will also become mandatory at some stage. Some countries have already adopted it. We are also considering, India as a country would also probably in the next 1 or 2 years would get there. So yes, that will require support on the platform, and the thought has shifted there instead of only process mapping, because I think with P2P awareness, as we discussed earlier, the process mapping part has been achieved largely. Sixth one is more towards risk. Now here, this becomes very interesting. It's an elephant in the room, has always been environmental risk. We knew about it, we knew about CSR, we knew about, I would say there are a lot of functions and EHS functions which have come up trying to do that. However, the thing is that it will now move towards something called Scope 3. Very interesting. Scope 1 used to be probably 22, which was what you are generating as a e-waste or rather a carbon footprint. Take care of that. Can we solve for that? Now we are talking about Scope 1 plus 2, which is more upstream. So your suppliers may also generate carbon footprint. Are you doing enough to protect there? So we have heard about green hydrogen or green steel, right? So it's something like that. So automotive companies are wanting to procure more and more green steel. So that is like Scope 2 is getting implemented as we speak. But there are still compliance and regulation which is yet to follow suit. I mean, it's not yet fully there in our country per se, but in the EU it is there. In the European Union it's very much there. What is meant by Scope 3 here is not only upstream, it is also downstream. So the users of the products per se, can you help them reduce carbon footprint also? So that will be one of the considerations which will come up. So that is what probably the evolution is. So aeronautical industry, aviation industry is already there. They are thinking about Scope 3. Automotive, as I also said, they are also thinking about Scope 3 implementation as early. They are the early movers there, to be put it that way. Lastly, of course, linked to this is carbon footprint. It has to be sustainable, what we are doing. So if it was digital tools being used to measure your carbon footprint, they are still there. Adoption has increased from maybe, as you see, lower 27% to maybe 41% people have adopted. In next 2 years, we will see that 5 sectors specifically will have to lead this journey because there will be regulations around them. Aviation and automotive, I already said, chemicals and metals being the other, where it will become a norm and at times it will become a legal necessity to report out the carbon footprint that is there. So this is what this survey says. It's very detailed. I will encourage, if all of you probably want to refer that, please do. But I think this is very relevant to today's discussion when we are talking about how this is basically a forum where we connect to discuss trends which are there in the industry, which will affect and which we need to understand and adapt to. So we have tried to summarize that for maybe a quick reference for all of us. With that, I will end my address, and again, I am really thankful to all of you for attending this, and also let's make this event a kind of enriching one for all of us, and I look forward to connecting with all of you during the day. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Stage. And to do the honors, I would like to call Mr. Sachin Tapole from UPL